Hello, everybody. Welcome to Flashing Arrows, the show where I cook, drink whiskey, and talk psychology. So, today I'm making a Joshua Weissman pizza recipe. So, it's a phenomenal Sicilian pizza. I made the dough yesterday. My bestie is home from finishing school in North Carolina, so we're having a poker party tonight. It's gonna be amazing. But I wanted to share what's on my mind today, so I'm just going to get out the dough to proof at room temperature for an hour, and I can share the recipe in the comments if you want. It's a really good recipe. So what's been on my mind this week? And I was just listening to Slipknot, and so I want to talk with you about the concept of alienation. So a lot of people come to therapy. And it's really I kind of got really bummed out maybe about a year or so ago in my practice, because I realized most of the things that people come to therapy for to address are really just because we don't have community. People don't know how to, like in marriages, we don't know how to relate to each other, because if there were a community of other like men and fathers and husbands, you could get some advice, you could get some feedback. My own personal analyst always says, if you only have a nuclear family, you can have a nuclear meltdown, because the only thing the kids are exposed to is that family dynamic, and you think that that's normal. If your parents are really toxic, you just grow up thinking like, well, this is how mommies should treat daddies, and the lack of community really is leaving a lot of us in the dark when it comes to our own psychological material and how we just think normal life should function, and how we think relationships should function, and how we should relate to ourselves. If you grow up in a family where people beat themselves up all the time, or nobody manages their anxiety very well or at all, or try to ignore it, that's what you're going to see. That's all you're going to be exposed to. So I was listening to Slipknot and thinking about alienation, which is just, such a common experience for most of us. So many people are really lonely. The pandemic really made people even more lonely. I think loneliness is a huge problem in the United States. And but I was reflecting on where the message of hope that's in the music of bands like Slipknot, of Korn, of Mudvayne, of all this music I was listening to, and I felt sad and alienated as a teenager growing up. And as an adult, I'm realizing, and as a therapist, I'm realizing what a profound message of hope there is in that music. We'll see if it usually makes me cry when I really think about it. But like, those musicians had to put pen to paper to talk about how they were feeling. They had to find other people who were feeling the way they did. They had to navigate and I've never done it personally, but I've heard only horrible things, navigating like the music industry and producers and people wanting to take your money, and they have to go on tour and eat crappy food and stay up late and stay in uncomfortable beds in hotels, all to get their message out to people who are their fans, people like you and me, to help us feel less alone, to let us know that like there's a whole other group of people who feel this way. And to the extent that they make music and they all get together at their shows, and they can appreciate that if you're feeling alone or alienated, at least you're not alone in feeling alienated. You're not alone in your alienation. And so it dawned on me like a couple months ago, and I just love that idea. So I wanted to pass that on and share about alienation and loneliness. The cure is community. The cure to insecure attachment is secure attachment. And talking about your story, and then eventually tinkering with the narrative to make it feel like you're less the villain, like you're less the victim, like you're less the escaping or just surviving, especially just survivalism. So shifting the narrative around those common things that make us feel really alone, and especially going to therapy, telling your story to somebody else, or having a friend. Any healing looks like a bunch of different things. Have a friend and hear your story. Anyway, getting a phone call. Tune in next time.